I'm glad to be here. I hope you are. So, this isn't Hackers Challenge tutorials. This isn't drop lots of hints. So, if you're not here for this first word, beginning, then you're welcome to leave. You're welcome to stay. I'd love to have you. If you're not going to pay attention to the slides and you're really just here to see if I'm going to give you any extra hints or clues, here's the slide you want to see. I'll show it to you now so you can ignore the rest of it. There you go. Okay, put that out of the way. Welcome to Beginning Hackers Challenge. How many of you are first-time SAINTCON attendees out here? Hands up. Okay, so it looks like probably close to 10% of my audience, 20% of my audience. And SAINTCON in general has been about 40% first time this year. So good. Awesome. Excited to have you here. I'm going to walk through what Hackers Challenge is, how to play, and it's a brief run-through. So a couple hints and tips, and let's get going. So the basics, how to play Hackers Challenge. Go to www.hackerschallenge.org. It's really easy. It's a welcoming game board. Click Create an Account, and just use the email address that you used when you registered for SAINTCON. We use that for our scoring method because with scoring on the Hackers Challenge game board, it's divisible. So when the game started, all the puzzles were worth 10,000 points. The first person to solve it gets 10,000 points and a bonus. And then when someone else solves it, this puzzle suddenly becomes worth 5,000 points. Now, that means that you can watch your score go down from 100,000 to 200 points. As more and more people solve that same puzzle, your score will get lower. Now, what are these puzzles? Essentially, they're a way for me to encourage you to learn. And they're lots of fun. So everything from cryptography to web hacking to lock picking to all the various skills that we teach at SAINTCON and some more are on that game board to help you learn. So how do you know when you've got to the end? How do you know what I need to actually do? So when you get to the end, you're going to find something that says flag and then a string of text. Most of the time. Often you won't. So if you feel like you've solved the puzzle and you've decrypted something and you have some text at the end, then all you need to do is submit that text. There is no harm, no negative points for guesses and attempts. So it doesn't hurt you to try. So here's what the game board looks like. Right now, you log in. Dismiss here. And you'll see the game board. You'll see all these white puzzles are puzzles that nobody's even solved yet. So they're all worth the full value of the point. The one with the red outline is a brand new puzzle that was recently opened. You may not have had a chance to look at it yet. The yellow outlines are puzzles that are open and ready for play and are not able to reap a first solve bonus. So if you look at this puzzle here in the bottom left-hand corner, it started out at 10,000 points. Only 2 people have solved it, and so it's worth 5,000 points to them right now. If you're the next person to solve that, it'll suddenly be worth 3,333 points for all 3 of you that have solved it. It's worth mentioning that not all puzzles are hidden on this game board. And there's other puzzles down here. But there are puzzles hidden around SAINTCON and in talks and in other challenges where when you're solving them, you might see this string flag, or you might find an odd MD5 hash, or you'll find something that's flashing on someone's badge, and you say, what is that? Well, give it a try as a Hackers Challenge clue. It might just be worth some static points. So that's the mechanics of it. So what you're asking is, well, really, how do I do this? How do I get started? And it comes down to having some of the right tools, some good information, some skills, and a little luck. So let's talk about some of the tools that you might need. Usually, you have everything you need already on your laptop. or readily available in something like Kali Linux or on a virtual machine in DigitalOcean or on AWS. And most of those are built into your operating system. Everything from cat to file to the Windows PowerShell. These tools are extremely useful for solving Hackers Challenge puzzles. We create these puzzles to be solvable by you in the time frame that you have here while at Hackers Challenge and at SAINTCON. So what are some of these particularly? Compression tools, different OSs, learning a little bit of scripting. Some of these tools. This is just an example of what was on the game board last year. These are the things that if you knew about these, you could have blown through all the puzzles and solved them quickly and easily. All sorts of file formats, understanding how things are encoded, knowing how ASCII works, how EBDIC works, learning to be able to recognize a base 64 string. Here's a great hint for you that are just starting with Hackers Challenge or getting into this. Whenever you see a string of characters that ends in an equal sign, often, or a double equal sign, that's a really plain giveaway that that's base 64 encoded. It's a way of taking a lot of text and compressing it into a string that has a set of characters that aren't going to conflict with whatever your environment is. So you take binary data and encode it as ASCII. MD5 sums, SHA sums, they all have a fixed length, and you can say, oh, that's a hash. And so recognizing these, looking at file headers and seeing that it says it's Y encoded, or, oh, this is a zip file, or, oh, hey, look, if I look at this file and there's a zip file, and at the end of it, I see an MP3 file. These are ways that you can look at things and say, oh, what's going on here? Tools, everything from DD to TR to sort and unique, to all these tools that are built into your bash environment. They're basic things that will help you decode and approach this data. So learn as much as you can. Soak in the data. Where do you find what you need? How do you say, okay, look at this puzzle, I don't even know where to get started. Well, an awareness is a good help. I tweet all the time about security news. I post it in the SAINTCON Slacks. And then I bookmark it and say, this is what I'm going to build a Hackers Challenge puzzle on next year. So if you follow my news feed, you can start learning about the types of exploits and the types of things you can expect to see on the game board. Because I want stuff that you can learn and apply and take back to your daily jobs and say, oh, I didn't realize that this system's vulnerable to this kind of thing. Or, oh, these kind of things might affect our environment. So I try to keep it current. If you're following CTFs and you're saying, hey, I want to learn how to do CTFs, Neverland guys run a great CTF. And they have all their puzzles archived and available, and many other conferences do the same thing. And we post them up here on GitHub at github.com/CTFs. And you can go through and read through their walkthroughs and learn about how to solve these puzzles. So it's important you're looking around and you're learning and you're absorbing information. Look everywhere and be aware. So what happens to me generally is I get a puzzle and I look at it and it says the puzzle name is war something. And I think back, okay, what do I know that have, what kind of strings, what kind of things do I know that have to do with war? War dialing, war driving, war chalking. And then I start Googling those and reading Wikipedia entries and learning what is that? Why does it apply? Remember that when you see something you don't know, other people's knowledge is probably your best help to help you get started. So start asking Google, start asking DuckDuckGo, what is this? And then as you look back at the challenge, you'll start to get context and understand, oh, okay, this could be this. For example, we have some WordPress challenges on the game board this year. They all take advantage of recent exploits and frequent misconfigurations. And so if you take a look at the titles of the puzzles or the hints that are given, you'll be pointed to some tools or pointed to some CVEs or pointed to some concepts that will help you understand where to get started in approaching that. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So we love the Hackers Lounge. I love to hang out down there And I love to help you learn. And most other players will help you learn too. Don't ask them for the actual answer, but ask them, hey, how'd you approach this? What did you learn about this? Where do I even get started? We're a great community. One of the greatest skills you can have when you approach a puzzle is not asking it to tell you the answers, but trying to troubleshoot it. Just like when the network's broken at work, or when something's not working, how do you troubleshoot it? Start playing, start guessing, start breaking it down into its bits and pieces. Of course, a little bit of luck is necessary, but it'll happen. And you'll get there and you'll say, oh, that's how that works. Something else to notice is to understand who created the puzzles and understand why they're created. So I create these puzzles and I tune them and I tweak them and I make sure that they're easy for you to play, easy for you to be able to get started on and to learn from. If it seems like this is outrageous and this is crazy and I can't do this and why would this is impossible, then you're probably doing it wrong because it's not supposed to be that way. Don't look too deep. That happens to me all the time when I'm playing these games is I overthink the problem. If any of you played the pre-con challenges and you got to pre-con 2 where you'd already figured out what Iron Man was saying, and now you're looking at pre-con 2 and it's raining and you don't know what you're looking for, you're looking way too deep. What you need is staring you right in the face, probably in the corner somewhere. These are a bunch of resources. They're things that I have found that have helped me as I've approached things. Google, Wikipedia. Rumkin. So if you're working on any ciphers, go to this webpage. It's called Rumkin, and it's a collection of ciphers and solver tools, and it gives great introductions, and then helps you also learn how these ciphers work. The GitHub CTFs. This one, PowerShell Basics for Windows environments. Lots of tooling that exposes you a lot, how to pipe things through, how to use the various tools that are already built in. And then, of course, an intro to Bash. So I wanted to give you an example of a basic challenge on the board and give you guys a chance to ask a bunch of questions. So if we choose a challenge here, let's see, where's a good one to get started? Let's take this crypto challenge right here. Classic Crypto CC100. So first of all, the name is CC100, meaning it's probably a 100 level challenge. It's somewhere where you can just start and expect it to be simple. Description. The category is Classic Crypto, and so the description. This simple cipher was a favorite of a certain Roman emperors. See if you can decode the message below into the correct answer. You shouldn't need much luck to get it right. And then we've got a long string here of unintelligible characters. So, how do we approach this? First thing I know is it's Classic Crypto, and we know what kind of cipher, or who liked the cipher. So, it's Roman emperors, and it's a cipher. So I would start at Google, and I would search for Roman emperor cipher. And I get right here, my first response is Julius Caesar, a Caesar box, Caesar cipher. And you read all about a Caesar cipher and how it works. Essentially, it's a basic transposition cipher. And so now I know what I'm looking for. I come back to my challenge, and I take my text. And since I've learned about this site called Rumkin that has some great tooling, I can search for Caesar cipher solver or find some other, write my own script. I can come to Rumkin and his cipher tools, and I can look through here and see if it supports a Caesar cipher. And right here it says Caesarean shift. tells us all about it and how it works. Caesar ciphers are often called rot, because basically you rotate a wheel around your characters, so where A equals 1, or A equals A, you can change it to A equals B. And it's a basic cipher that we've all worked with as kids. So you take something simple, put the string in there, and it doesn't work at one rotation. And you can go through this whole string until you find something that makes sense to you. And I don't remember what rotation this had. But you rotate through it. There you go. And you get a string. You really should become acquainted with the many classic ciphers if you want to solve all of these. The key you want is too much fun. Now, here's a puzzle where it's not called out in flag, but it's a little bit of a riddle, and it's also pretty blatant, and you can take it literally for what it says. The key that you want is too much fun. And that's the solve of a basic cipher and how to approach these challenges. Now, yes, that's a 100 level, but they're all meant to be that approachable. That you can come to this game board and approach these. A lot of the puzzles on this board, particularly all the Hackers Labs challenges this year, will get you to plug into a network down in the hacker community where you can use your own laptop or a laptop that's provided, run Kali Linux, and hack a Windows environment, hack a Linux environment, and actually become just as an attacker would once they get into your network. And it's a great walkthrough, and there's a lot of challenges there. I encourage you to go play. That's the basics of what I want to introduce on how to get started with the Hackers Challenge. What questions do you have about how to get started? Hopefully this was a good introduction. Any questions out there? Anything I can answer on how do I get started? Okay. Well, thank you. This is the Welcome to Hackers Challenge. Come see me on Friday morning, and we'll give you a walkthrough of lots of these challenges and the ones that stumped you most. That's what I have.